Scratching around at Sapphire. This was about 2 pans, as in 2 really full pans. I think I was starting to find the right spots, but then the river rose. G'day, Jason here from In Search of Australia. It's been a long time between fossicking trips, and unfortunately this was supposed to be part 2 of my Sapphire trip. However, the river had swollen so much, I pivoted and thought I'd try and see whether my gold sieve could actually get gemstones. Now, as you can see, the river's risen considerably, and to give you an idea, the last time I was here, I was actually parked here and camped the night just around this area. Unfortunately, this puts the nail in the coffin of part 2, and it will have to wait until another time. I've come back to Sapphire Bend to test the sieve because I do know that there'll be at least indicators and some sapphires that should appear there. Let's see how we go. Now, the gold sieve isn't really meant for gemstones, and there's a few things about it that I think might work against it. However, if it does work, it's going to have a bit of a scalable ability to do more at once, so it'll be worth a test. Fossicking in the rain, so much fun. My plan here is to actually empty that hole of water, put the water into this tub, and put the sieve in the tub like I've used it in previous videos. I'm also going to use this categorizer that often fits with the gold pan on top, just to remove all the larger gravel from the start. I think if I had large rocks in there, it's not going to work properly. Good suction. Good start. I'm going to actually get rid of some of that dirt. That's not fun. I spotted this one on the shovel. Very, very deep blue sapphire. Not enough light to show you, but I'll show it at home. I'm pretty much now a fair weather fisherman. Prospecting though, I'm starting to think I should be a fair weather prospector. It's hard work. It's hard to film too because I've had downpours and trying to show the process, it's pouring with rain. But anyway, this is what I'm doing. So because it's always really awkward to get in where the gravel is, I've been putting it in this bucket. So I'll put most of the contents in here. And what I'm doing is just removing the larger rocks first. Very messy here, very yellow clay. Not pleasant. And here at Sapphire Bend you'll find little chunks of almost like a conglomerate that you need to break up, so just got to make sure I get all of them. Really uncommon to get very large sapphires here, so I'll do a cursory look. No. And the rest of it. So this will be about a bucket. Now I just want to get all the soil through, so all we've got is the rocks, the gravel. The reason I'm doing it over the bucket is you do get gold here, not much, but it's also good for indicators of sapphires. And I'll do the remains in this big red tub in the pan. Oh, there's one there. I'm going to leave it in there just so we can really test it. Puddle down there is not big enough, so we're going to move to where there's some really large puddles near the road. And we interrupt these proceedings with rain that's supposed to have stopped this morning. Weather. So we're going to try it exactly like a normal gem sieve. So the first thing I notice is nothing's really centering. However, there are sapphires sitting on top. So, not sure about the centering part of it. Could be that I need to do a different technique because that's quite springy the way it works, whereas a gem sieve is a lot more stiff, so maybe they're sort of bouncing around a bit more. I'll try a different technique on the next lot and see if there's a difference. I'll take you, or I'll knock you over there. And you. Oh, yep. They are in the one area. So I'm just sitting under there. You just don't seem to see any indicators all gathered. Okay, This time I did a side to side motion. It does look like it actually centered things a little more. Because that one. Large piece of spinel. You can see one there. That's a big one. Very flat though, it's all sheared off the edge. Well, the stratification's good. It's getting all the heavies to the bottom, but it's definitely not categorizing, pushing them to the middle. Not sure about this one, just keep it and check later. I'm surprised there's not much zircon. Usually I'd be getting much more zircon and no sapphire. So one curious technique I've seen is someone going side to side just like this. Just going to have a quick look in the middle. Nothing obvious. I'll do it a bit more. Now I'm going to do the normal. And see if that changes things. And just to see what else is in this hole. Few specks of gold. So that's a bit more gold than I usually get in Sapphire Bend. It's interesting because it seems to have been quite a honeypot for sapphires. These are all very small. I'll keep them just as an indicator. But that's fascinating. Another one in the middle, just not on top. Gold, zircon, garnet. I don't know what that yellow one is. It's unusual in my books, but the pan is completely full of these little gems. And black sand as well. Well, the sieve works. It just doesn't quite work the way I'd expect. I don't know whether it's more I need to agitate a lot more, or just the sort of flexibility of the actual mesh bounces things around. That last check sieve still had sapphires and a garnet in there. They were in the middle, but they weren't on top, so they hadn't worked their way down to the bottom. Still good, and the reason I actually had it was I was expecting to go for gold only, and came out here as a backup plan and forgot my gem sieves. So the gold sieve does work, sort of. These are the specimens that I got in the gold pan. The interesting one is the yellow gemstone. I'm going to assume that that yellow gemstone's a sapphire. Could be wrong, but it's the only thing that I could think would be that colour. Then I got a little quartz cluster, which was quite nice. And this was the sapphire that I found on the shovel, straight off the top. Then in the sieve, an array of sort of small half carat sapphires. And finally, a 1 carat sapphire, which is sort of one of the larger ones. Well, I hope you enjoyed the pivot of this episode, and see you in the next one.